our crypto conversation. Today, our guest and friend Andy is with us. Hi, Andy. Thank you for joining.
Hey, mate.
Hey, good to see both of you again, bro.
Likewise. How's your
Hopefully
day?
on better circumstances, right?
Oh, don't worry. We will see very big green arrows very soon. Don't worry. I'm waiting for the steamy checks, man. Steamy
I'm not
checks,
too,
steamy
not
checks.
worrying, but I don't see them yet. I mean, for a few months at least.
Oh, you will not be. I think uh, you need to at least wait for 6 months, just to see
Yeah.
anything good. But it's okay. It's worth the wait, man.
What 6 months in this like years and years of crypto, right? It's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing, man. I have so many friends who are very very eager to get into the market right now. I said, hey, dude, there are many ways to make money, right? Why not this time make something different? Wait for it to go all the way up, then you shot all the way down. Would it be an easier call? They say, oh yeah, that could be a possibility. I say, oh yeah, you know. So there's no need to always think about buying it low and selling it high. Of course, that's the best case scenario, right? But the other case scenario is if you know that maybe the stimulus check is going to come in, you know, the world will not collapse. They will have one big pump. Just wait for the pump and then wait for the big recession, right? So that could be another strategy.
Tell us
So you're
about these
betting on
checks.
the stimulus check as the next
Yeah.
catalyst for the bull market?
I think yes, it has to be because if you look at what it is right now, right, it's also very much related to the Web4 book. If you look at the market right now, it should have collapsed, right? I think what is showing on the crypto market right now is a very realistic uh, uh, maybe a realistic situation, right? But why did the stock market keep pumping, right? Because they need to keep up with the big hype that's coming up, which is the IPOs, right? If now the whole thing plunge all the way down, then that 3-4 big IPO, $1 trillion IPO is just going down the drain, right? So they have to do it, right? And I want to see how long can that sustain, right? If they want to sustain this, they have to print more money. If not, the whole market will collapse because they suck up all the liquidity. Boom,
That's
bye.
interesting.
You know,
These IPOs can be a catalyst, but I've read some opinions and I agree partially with it. But they might be the trigger as well because it's not like we have like an infinite of this huge IPO.
so is it
Our stocks.
is a bit breaking up, man.
Your internet
Yeah,
is.
in this.
Yeah, he's out. Victor?
Well, Vic, you're gone, bro. Are you captured by Donald Trump or what?
No, he's not paying for his internet. Not enough money.
Oh, okay.
Uh, in the meantime, tell us about your book. Like you mentioned, you have a new book, Web4.
Oh, okay. Web 4. The new book is Web 4: The Age of Autonomous Intelligence, right? So Web 4 has always been a talking point in my space, because I come from a background that is pretty much capital back, right? So I see all the ins and out of what cryptocurrency is all about, how exchanges work, how the market makers can kick in, you know, how to trade against the users. So but I came into the space with a very strong goal that DeFi is going to change the world. Crypto is the future money, right? But if we believe in DeFi, believe in decentralization, and what we see right now is not decentralized. I think we are screwed, right? So that was the first time I talked about Web 4, right? That was in 2021. Um, I think I was one of the first few to talk about the term. I'm not sure. Back at 2021, I didn't Google online or about that. But then in 2023, I started to give like keynote speeches about what is Web4, right? You can still find it online, I think. And back then I wrote a lot of different articles, right? That was like going back 2, 3, 4 years ago, right? That I started writing a lot about Web4. And at one point of time, if you type Web4 and AI, I'm actually the top guy that you will find first, right? So my vision have never changed, right? Decentralized networks is just going to stay, right? And if we are not decentralized, if you look at this from a Web3 angle, if we are not decentralized enough, we screwed up, right? We are the same fiat wrapper, right? And then if you look at the AI perspective, right? Nowadays, they were talking about decentralized AI because they don't want 1 or 2 or 3 big companies monopolizing the whole AI industry, right? So they want it to be decentralized because they want a check and balance. So if that's the case, then that would be a very Web4 scenario that we are talking about, right? So that's where the book comes from, right? I don't like how Web1 works when it's all information you read. Web2, you have a bit of participation, but it's super decentralized. Then Web3, supposed to be ownership driven, decentralized, but it's not decentralized, right? So I hope that Web4 would be the true, real state where things can be read, write, own, and understand within that web structure. So it could be a bit idealistic, but I think right now is the best time to talk about it and write about it. You know,
Even if you don't have decentralization in Web4, we still have Web5.
we could have Web6, but you
Let's
need
Exactly.
be
the
optimistic about it.
we need the element to spark, right? So what is Web5? I'm not sure, right? But of course we have friends like Justin Sun, Snoop Dogg. You know, they talk about Web5, Web6, but these are just I think they are just just trying to say something, right? But at least Web4 since 2021 till now, I've been always been consistent. You know, I want it to be more decentralized, right? More decentralized, more autonomy, more intelligence, and that's the game plan that we are getting in, right? And that's also the one part of the game plan that what Anthropic is trying to achieve, and what this OpenAI is trying to do, right? So I think it's aligned, with the big environment right now.
Okay. Victor, we lost you for a few seconds and we
Yeah.
didn't get your question.
Okay, so my point was that these huge IPOs that are coming on the US stock market can be uh, an element that takes the brings liquidity and takes the markets higher, but it can be a trigger as well because we don't have an infinite amount of liquidity, and for a lot of people and investors that will want to chip in to these huge IPOs and to buy in, not to like to call on the hype, so to speak, they will need to sell our stocks in order to get the liquidity to buy into these IPOs. So, what do you think about this idea that these IPOs can really be a trigger for cascade selling and really initiate a downward turn in the markets?
It will be, the sad thing is the rotation has already begun, right? You see the sellout from cryptocurrency and some tech stock as well. You see the World Cup is also coming, so that is also another possible rotation, right? The betting, the sports betting, everything is going to come, right? So there's a World Cup first, and then there's an IPO, right? Of course, we can argue that these are all different sets of money, different kind of target audience, but the pool that is liquid is just this big, right? So let's see where it's going. So I think both big events are not good for crypto. Both are rotating out of crypto. into other trends that is happening, right? That included AI. You saw AI stock. You know what
Yeah.
happened, right? So it all rotated out to AI stock. My friends who are running uh, mining rigs, they have become an AI data center, right? So everything is rotating out, man. So it's not good for us, and and structurally it shows a sign of weakness within the crypto
Mm-hmm.
industry. Maybe 3 points, right, before we go into the next thing is first point is we are lacking of good use cases. You know, many of these use cases
Yes.
that we talk about in the previous cycle, we never talk about it this cycle at all, right? We all talk about hype, right? We talk about short-term fat, come and go. That's it. Pump and dumps. That's it, right? So first point, I think we need more use cases, right? The second point is we need more stronger assets like Bitcoin, right? It could be a new coin that is really powerful enough, to fight hand in hand with Bitcoin, so that the liquidity concentration will not be Bitcoin and Bitcoin only, right? We need to have that competition in order for the industry to grow, right? And last but not the very least is I think we need to look at sustainable revenue. If not, it will not be
Of course.
sexy, and it will not be sustainable. So after so many years, we should look at sustainable revenue and real sustainable revenue, not like you wash trade your projects to billion-dollar valuation, not valuation, billion-dollar market cap, right? But then your actual revenue is also washed, then you'll be lose-lose. So what if you get 1 million uh, fees collected every day? I want to know how much of that is real and how much is not real. How much is put back to buy back is real, how much is not real. Is it really sustainable? We don't have the numbers. So it's very difficult to compare us with some of the top stock where everything has a intrinsic value. A lot of things is that open book. We just don't have that ecosystem yet. So these three things got to happen, man.
Why do you think we don't have these use cases yet? Is it the technical boundaries that prevent us from having them, or is it lack of imagination from our side,
No, no,
from the
I
community?
think if you see this from a VC point of view, right? The biggest problem is they want quick in, quick out, right? The time frame for growth or the time frame to build is short, sometimes 1 year, right?
Mm-hmm.
How can that unicorn happen within that 1 year? It's very difficult, right? So if you really want to see a sustainable growth, good project, good use case, right? It has to be a longer plan, maybe a 3 years horizon to plan this out and make sure that it flows, right? So I think it's timing. Many times it's timing. That's one. Second, mindset. Third is the people, right? If everybody is who is here, they just want pump and dump, quick ones. Like some of this blockchain you can see, right? Raise a lot of money. After that, there's no sound, no picture, no nothing, no smell even, man, right? So to me, those are rocks, right? But if you continue to build, show revenue, show partnership, show real use cases, then I think it's good. But of course, the last bit is why most people don't build on the use cases is also because the 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 return on investment of not doing anything is actually higher than doing a lot of things, right? So if you raise 100 million,
Just buy
right?
Bitcoin and do nothing, yeah?
No, most of these companies are like that. Even the blockchain, I don't want to name any of them. They have like treasury. Maybe some of them have a few $1 billion, right now at this moment. It's because they did an ICO, they kept the money, convert them to BTC, and now they're still around, right? Many of the chains are doing that. You know, uh, I mean, it's a sad thing, but we can laugh it off. But it's a sad thing, man. It's pretty fucked up, bro.
Yeah, but
Or it's
just
actually like the our call to wake up. I mean, maybe crypto, it's supposed to be just, Bitcoin and a few others, just store of value payments and so on, and not all the bullshit we invented all these years. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, you see that could be a tone to give up, right? Because we are restricting ourselves to payment, right? But if you look at the Web4 dynamics, right, the AI become a push element, right? It gives us value, right, and we can sell on that value, right? If we stick with the cryptocurrency only narrative, then you will just be pump and dump every single month, pump and dump, right? But if you add new elements in to create the value, example, it could be AI right now, then I think the chances of success is very very high. You know, just people are just too lazy. You know, their mindset is too short. You know, if you speak to some of these projects, you know that like maybe some Asian project, time frame for growth 3 months, right? 3 months Binance, that's it. You know, I was like, oh, okay. What do you mean by that, man, bro? After that, what are you going to do with all the investors' money?
Buy
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
yeah, buy Bitcoin. No, I give them the idea too. You just buy Bitcoin. That's the best. You know, let's not bullshit us and take the money and do and burn it in events, first class ticket and so forth. That should not be the case. You know, we are here to build the industry, not to just not to spend it like a crazy guy. You know, so it's still the value, man. If they can add right now, like I always say, you know, right now the trend is AI, and this AI trend is surely going to stay. It will not be like an NFT, right? If that's the case and everybody agree to that vision, then we should build things towards that vision. You know, instead of us being the liquidity exit, suck
But
up AI's.
is it is it AI the trend yet? Because I see it more as like gaming was at some moment. Like everyone tried to build games on blockchain and build
None of
different
them work.
stuff regarding the game. And it's the same for AI at this moment. We don't have any real use cases where we can use uh, a decentralized network efficiently to for inference or for other processes that are involved in using AI. We can't use it as infrastructure yet for AI. And how do you see the role of AI in all this equation? Because from my side, I don't see it as a trend now. I see more stable coins, prediction market, stuff like that. That, and even maybe to an extent, DEXs, like these use cases have real revenue and they have a path towards being profitable and being like having a sound business plan. How do you see AI in this equation?
Wow. Okay, you look at it this way again, yeah. When we talk about stable coin, okay, so maybe we go by one. Gaming in blockchain, it didn't work out. None
Hmm.
of them work out except for the most initial one uh, in the last cycle. So all other blockchain games fail, in my opinion. All fail, right? Then if you look at the stablecoin in the industry right now, it is actually playing the US dollar fiat game, right? Helping US dollar to fight inflation. You know, I don't know about me. I don't really like. I like stable coin in terms of concepts, but I do not like stable coin just purely pegged to US dollar, and that's it. Because what is the
Hmm.
value to that stable coin, right? But if you look at AI, it's very different, right? In order for us to get into, for example, like a true adopt the true AI stuff, right? We need to have many different things. One is we need the interface layer, we need the architecture to work with AI, we need the agent layer to work with the agents. I don't think the Web3 guys truly understand what is really needed, in that sense, right? So AI can come in many different ways. Like as an example, the agent layer, right? That is an agent
Hmm.
layer that is talking within the hierarchy, right? It could be It could be, dealing with the 402s, automated payment. You need the agent layer, right? I think the interface layer, we already have that. Then we need the protocol layer as well, right? To make sure that the AI interaction can be seamless. So there's a lot of things to build to
Mm-hmm.
get that Web4 vision, which is also part of the AI vision, right? So if you just purely look at just putting AI into crypto, then
Mm-hmm.
the best way is, oh, let's have an AI trading bot. That's it, right? But that to me is not sexy enough, and it will
Yeah,
not
but
drive
mhm.
anything.
In the future that you're portraying, we become like a tech stack. We become I don't know, the JavaScript, a tool for the AI agents to work with.
Mm, could be, or maybe we are like the spine, right? If you look at this like a human body,
Mm-hmm.
so blockchain is the spine, AI is the brain, right? So
Mm-hmm.
AI can think about all sorts of crazy things, but it has to go through the validation layer, which is the supporting layer, which is the spine, to make sure that all these things are okay, right? So that is then the data layer, right? So if we have all these things that I talk about, the data layer, the protocol layer, the agent layer, oh, maybe we have something. Of course, also the interface layer where they talk. So if we have all this, then perhaps that would be a more convergence
Mm-hmm.
architecture, that involves blockchain and AI. But right now, we are just um, a little bit too far behind, man. You know,
That's
I don't
interesting.
know.
So basically, what you're saying is that we are too much into crypto, really. I mean, we are
Mm,
trenched in our own culture in a way,
mm,
and don't explore other ways in which we can interact with existing technology to bring new use cases on the table.
yeah, I
Okay.
think so because if you missed out the prediction market, right? So if you look at the crypto side of things, they also want to grab the prediction market, but all of these ideas are very short-lived. If you notice, right? Very very short-lived, right? The crypto native projects are not pushing hard enough, right? The trend fade off, they just leave it, right? The DEX as well. I don't see Hyperliquid and Esther fighting, right? If I don't see that fight, then it's meaningless. There is no narrative at
Yeah,
all, you know.
there is no
So
fight. I
no
agree
fight
with
at
you
all.
there. It's more like it's not even giving up. It's mixing in a way.
I
Well,
think so. I actually had the idea, or maybe have that urge to text CZ and say, bro, fuck man, do you need help with Esther? Do you know? I had that urge to go and tell him, bro, do you need help with Esther? Because because the way you're fighting with Esther is too weak, right? Every single day on your Twitter post or on Esther's Twitter post, they say, I've listed this shitcoin. Oh, this shitcoin is listed. I say, bro, wow, no one is excited with the shitcoin, bro. You know, I don't, I don't know, man. You know,
What should they say instead?
you look at it this way, right? If you want to be a real fight properly, right? What do you have to say? Easy. Great partnerships, number one. Good price action, number two. And they are ready to fight. You have to show that you are ready to fight so that your retail guys can be all riled up and say, hey, let's do it together. Fight this hyperliquid, Don't have. I least a dog shit coin. Day one. Tuesday I listed another dog shit coin. What's that, bro? You know. So I actually had a very strong urge a few days ago. I said maybe I should text CZ, man. I said, bro, do you need help? I don't need money. You know, what help do you need? I'm willing to step up to help you. That's it. I didn't
No,
do that.
even at the if we talk about the centralized exchanges, there is no fight there as well. I mean, as we used to have before. I mean, they were fighting like FTX were fighting with Binance or I don't know some
Mm.
exchanges, but now like it's silence. Everyone is just adding
Uh,
stocks, adding
yeah,
whatever, but they don't fight each other anymore.
Then we are kissing ass, man. We are kissing the TradFi ass while not getting the benefit to us, you know. But of course, most people say, "Oh, RWA is good." What's good, bro? If you tell me that uh, trillion dollar asset is coming into crypto on chain, I say, "Fuck, bro, you're good, man." Right? But if this is just using us as an Excel spreadsheet to account for one stock, two stock, three. Oh, please, bro, please get out. You know, I'm not sure, man. You know, so it's the business mindset. You know, I'm not sure. Is it because I'm a little bit more aggressive, or I have nothing to do, or what? You know, it's just that I just find that it's just pure bullshit right now. The whole market, just bullshit. You know, pure bullshit.
Are you
yeah.
still into meme coins? You mentioned last time that you have a team. I mean, not team, maybe your friends, a group, and you search for meme coins and you find two or three that you like and you invest. Do you still do that?
Nowadays, I stopped doing that anymore because there's no users and there's no liquidity, right? Why I don't want to be other people's exit liquidity, you know. So I stopped doing that for ever since October, the crash last year. I stopped doing that already. There's no liquidity. Everything is sucked up. Market makers got no money, bro. You know. So I stopped doing that. You know, until I see liquidity pumps in, uh, meme cycle or meme season can come back pretty fast, right? But until then, I will not do anything. You know, there's no rush to go and lose money, bro. You know, if we want to make money, we wait. You know, wait for the
So,
opportunity, then we come in.
so your advice for anyone listening would be just wait for now, don't do
Wait,
anything.
There's no money, no liquidity. Why rush into a gambling uh, casino where they do not have enough chips to feed everybody? You know, there's no point. You know, why go in, earn a few dollar and come out? There's no point, right? If you want to play, wait for the liquidity to pump. You know, I don't look at price, liquidity first. You know, then we can trade all the way up or just short all the way down. You can make money from both ways, right? So perps is an amazing thing, man. But whoever that invented perps, he will go to hell, 100%.
or to heaven. You never know.
Right now you can go to heaven, but hell more likely. But I like the product. You know, I like the product. You know, but
Uh,
it is
so
what it is.
everyone is talking about liquidity, and conceptually, everyone understands why is it important. But uh, whenever I ask someone, how do you measure it, and how do you understand when it is coming, when it is going, everyone has like, I mean, the term is liquidity, but the formula for understanding if it's coming, if it's going, how is it moving in and out of the markets, it's more like alchemy and less as a mathematics. Tell us your not your process of understanding how liquidity moves and when it moves into markets, when it gets out. How do you watch this?
I watch a few things, right? So of course everybody will just look at liquidity, TVL. I look at liquidity in a slightly different manner. So I use a mechanism called CVD, right? CVD stands for cumulative volume delta, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's actually a tug of war between the aggressive buyer versus the aggressive seller, right? So if you use that form, if you use this the formula, you will
Mm-hmm.
somehow know uh, whether buying is aggressive buyers out there, or are they aggressively selling. Then use that for the spot versus use the trend from spot versus derivatives. Then you can form another trend whether this is bullish or not, right? If it's bullish, then you can look at, you know, how much liquidity is there left, you know, what kind of volume you can see per day, what kind of price action you could forecast, right? So I usually use the CVD model to first do
Mm-hmm.
the assessment. Then from there, I look at the liquidity, the price, the possible direction, and then we can see whether this is a more bullish divergence, or is this just going to be super bearish from that point onwards, right? So different people will have different ways to look at how the market is running. Some of them they use
Mm-hmm.
ISM, some of them use the Elliott wave, but to me those are all far-fetched, right? Because most of these they go by cycle, right? Cycle by cycle, I think they are very accurate. Oh, this point is a 4-year cycle, they end. Oh, it seems accurate because they zoom all the way out, right? But zoom all the way out, I can also be very accurate. You can use the Andy's wave, I can come with my own theory, Andy's wave or whatever, But if you zoom all the way into something that's more practical, then I literally look at the volume, right? Those numbers are the fastest reaction point that you can see, right? And then you
Mm-hmm.
can make that judgment then. That's it, right? It's pretty, to me, it's pretty neutral in some ways. We just don't need to go and really look at, whether the S&P 500 is going to drop 5%, then Bitcoin is going to drop how many percent. I mean, how do you get the code? How are you going to measure that percentage? Is there's no math behind it, right? So I use the CDV model to look at most of the things, bro.
Interesting.
You mentioned Michael Saylor last time, and you said during the recession, Saylor will be the first one to sell his Bitcoin. So
Mm.
he finally sold some. Are we in a recession?
Not yet, not yet. Is um not yet. So we need to wait. Right now it's too early for a real recession. But when the recession comes, he will definitely still be the first to sell. Yeah, but you just imagine him selling 2.5 million worth of Bitcoin, and the market crashed all the way down. Of course, many of my friends they argue that it's not because of that 32 Bitcoin, but I don't agree, because it's the optics that he killed, right? It's the sentiments that he has created, and that created that the spiral viral sell off. You can see that very much aggressively on the volume. The volume, the short takers, the long takers is so obvious. Is during that point where he announced the report, the 8K report, the whole market just crashed, right? If I don't blame uh, Saylor, who can I blame? They say, Saylor actually mentioned many times that he's going to sell. But yeah, bro, he can do whatever he wants, bro. But he is the trigger point for the sale. That is the truth, in my opinion, right?
Do
So
you think he has done it on purpose? I mean, why sell 32 Bitcoin? I mean, it doesn't help you financially or liquidity. It's just a sign or just a move just to show the market what he can do with his power. Or maybe he had a short on the market and he just
could
sold
be,
30 Bitcoin just to show a point to have a profit on the short. I don't know. I mean,
could be,
why he
bro.
has done it.
I don't know whether he put a shot or not, but I'm very clear that he is testing the market. It's very clear to me that he's testing it, right? Because if he needs money to pay off something, he can jolly well use many different instruments to pay off that 2.5 million. Why did he need to sell Bitcoin? So and why this amount only, right? So I think he has that testing mentality, and also pre-warn everybody that he's really going to sell. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. You know, and the next time when he's going to sell, it will be a lot more than this. Because he has, at one point he will realize that by selling Bitcoin is the fastest and easiest and best way to pay back the dividends, and then he has to do it. right?
Yeah, but why
So
now? I mean, in my opinion, it makes no sense, and he doesn't really have this pressure on him to sell, because the way he financed these buys are not by taking loans from banks and having commitments that he needs to honor. The instruments that he used, the loans that the stocks that he issued that finance the buys, he can just postpone the dividend payments. He can wipe them off legally. I mean, he has options. And again, if you have payments that you need to make, you can use the bitcoins to borrow money and use them as collateral. You don't need to sell them. I don't really see how much pressure would be put on him that he needs to sell. I would agree more with him testing the waters and maybe making the plan of selling when the market is up and he can take some profits and maybe buy some of the stocks with dividends back or something like that. But to sell the bitcoins just to honor the dividends and to have some cash flow for regular stuff, I don't see him needing to do that.
yeah, short term, I definitely agree with you. Longer term,
Hmm.
if the recession kicks in, he will have to sell because you just imagine if his average price is 70 plus thousand, right?
Hmm.
If the market really crash hard to 50, 40, and then dividend kicks in, and he has no other ways to raise a little bit more fund, then he has to sell, right? But that
Yeah,
is
but
another
mhm.
that will be way longer, maybe a 1 to 2 years horizon, I think,
And
not
for
now.
that period, he has the
He has cash already.
cash to pay. Yeah,
He has a
for
few
like,
billions to cover all the payments for 2 years, I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
no, he
something like
has,
that. But then again,
definitely.
even if he doesn't, we discussed with one of our guests, Dmitry, if you remember, these are
Yeah.
not loans that he took from a bank. These are stocks with dividends that he issued, that strategy issued, and he can waiver paying the dividends. He can put off paying the dividends for a limited period of time, and he can cancel paying the dividends altogether legally.
Hmm.
Of course, this
Or
will
even reduce
will
it.
this will affect the reputation. People will not buy stocks for a while, but he can do that. What might force him to sell if he doesn't want to? He doesn't have selling pressure from needing the cash, really.
That is true. That is
Mm.
true. But what kind of time frame are we talking about? Are we talking about now, or are we talking about the event where BTC drops to, I don't know, man, drops to 50,000?
Well, even
Or
then, why selling in a loss if you can, if you have other options to finance the needs that you have, the cash needs? Especially then, I would say. I don't know, but in my view, he'll sell when it will be closer to all-time high if he's to sell and take some profits. He has no incentive to sell at a loss, I think.
I think
How
so.
about Tom Lee?
Oh, that is
Tom Lee is a very different story, man. But
I think
I think
he's
Tom,
in trouble.
yeah, is a different story. So our church leader, I always call him church leader, sailor. I think he's okay, honestly, because his Bitcoin per share strategy is okay, you know. So he can always raise more funds. So, but that is also with the context that Bitcoin got to be sexy. People still demand for Bitcoin, right? That's the only criteria that he needs to keep things going, you know. So I think it's not bad. Tom Lee, I don't know, man. If Ethereum price continue to stay like that, I think he will be the number one losing treasury, crypto treasury, number one, you know. So Ethereum got the pump, man.
Let's pump
Yeah.
Ethereum for Tom Lee.
Why do you think Ethereum is staying flat and going down for so many years?
I think foundation is not the foundation is not strong. I think that's number one. Two, uh, it seems like Ethereum is very established, but still not very established, right? The use case, what happened to all those things that they talk about, right? Some even complain that the tech is a bit outdated. That one is very subjective, right? But I just felt that if we really need Ethereum to pump, then there must have some big news, man. You know, institution money flowing in. You know, maybe the foundation or the Ethereum family really shift to something that is really making money, or maybe shift to an AI, era for Ethereum. There's a lot of things that can be done, right? And all those things must be done properly, and of course with good marketing, right? Get a good CEO or foundation director or whatever to go out and market every single day, right? Make sure that it's all positive. All these things got to be aligned. You know, you cannot just depend on the community to get a market, right? You need a cult leader that is strong, you know, that gives out certain promise. You know, just like another sailor, you know, you need a sailor kind of a salesman to go to Ethereum to start selling, you know, start selling the vision, right? If you don't have that figure, it's difficult to push. You know, Vitalik is like part-time, right? The rest of the so-called co-founders, can you even name another three of them? Maybe you can't, right? Maybe I can only name another one or two. That's it, right? But if
They're
you
not working at foundation anymore. They're doing something else.
precisely, right? So if you don't have that figure to go out and push to drive the vision, why would people be excited? I don't know, you know. And you need to have more use case, right? Push the use case, you know. Make sure that the banks are using Ethereum protocol to or even whatever, you know, Ethereum family product to run some of the stable coin, right? You have to push hard, man. You know, make sure the government like you, make sure the enterprise like you, right? If they need a decentralized solution, right, it has to be Ethereum, right? If you need decentralized infrastructure, storage, it goes to Ethereum. So there must be people pushing for it, right? Right now, I don't see anyone pushing it, man, bro. You know, who's pushing it? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's silence at Ethereum.
Yeah.
Dead silence, man. You know, I'm not excited, you know, about their upgrades. I'm not sure about the rest. But apart from all those upgrades, I think the more important thing is who is marketing it, you know, who is pushing it, you know, who is that driver that drives it. Do they have like a commercial guy to go and drive all these things? I don't know. You know, I hope they have. You know, then they can push the agenda higher. You know, if not, who, man? You know, name, or maybe another way to gauge whether this is have they marketed enough is who is that spokesperson at Ethereum Foundation that you can name five,
I can't name two.
two, you know, yeah, five, name five. You know, I always say that. I tell everybody just name three. Cannot even think about who are the three. You know,
It's
Yeah,
interesting.
Binance
I
has
mean,
CZ as, I mean, as a leader, church leader, as you mentioned it. I mean, Tron
yeah,
has Justin Sun, right? Cardano
yeah.
has that Hoskinson guy.
yeah.
I mean,
But Charles
Everyone.
looks like
Tron
Solana
he's
has
has
it.
Pavel Durov, right, from
yeah.
Telegram. I mean, everyone has someone like to fight for the project and to be in the spotlights. I mean, theoretically it's Vitalik, but he's not into
Yeah,
this
he's not
so much.
interested in this,
Yeah.
No.
I think.
He is more into tech, and I admire
Yeah.
his tech vision. But if you want a tech company to grow, you need the salesman, right? You need the commercial guy
Especially
that talks the commercial.
in this environment where so
Mm.
much depends on culture and on community
Mm.
and on communicating. Yeah,
And
it's
as you
Yeah.
interesting.
mentioned, now it's a very good time to market, right? To go to marketing. Everything is cheap. No, you have no competitors, and everyone is available to take your money and to promote you, right?
Yeah.
So
So
it's a
now
good
is
time.
the
Maybe don't write to CZ. Write to Vitalik and tell him to do that.
Vitalik. No, I need to be a sexy Asian girl for him to reply, man, Vitalik. You know.
But we have AI now. You can change your face at any moment.
Ah, shit.
Maybe that
No,
is
but
why he's selling Ethereum. He's just building the war chest to start the marketing campaign aggressively.
oh, I hope he could do that really because that is what Ethereum needs. Ethereum's tech is pretty mature, right? I would not say that it's dated. I think it's very mature. Usage community is there. The marketing
Yeah.
is not there, man. Really not there, bro. You know, if you can't name the person, means that is really not marketed properly. You know, so God bless. I'm a big Ethereum. One of my biggest bag is Ethereum. You know, but I kind of pretty upset. You know, when you see the price action and the whole network looks a bit sad, man. You know, they should do some more
Yeah,
things. You
but
know, to beef it up.
I I would argue that the opposite is the case in a way. The network isn't behave. I mean, the network isn't in a state that bad
No, it's not bad.
to justify the pricing in a way. I mean, we have worse networks that behave and operate worse than Ethereum that have better pricing action than than Ethereum
You
does.
you you see. Let's not name the who. Yeah, but, you know, we have a blockchain that is down a couple of times, but no one is complaining because there's no users, right? We have blockchain that has very very good marketing, but there's no
Mm-hmm.
users, right? So I hope Ethereum can do more just to push the price, right? Push the price, get more awareness, and push the marketing to the next level, right? You can't be a case where you keep pushing, but there is no price action, right? Actually, price pump is the easiest thing to do, right? So how did that? How can they do better, right? They just need to market harder. That's it, you know. Nothing else. That is the only missing part that we have.
It's funny you mentioned that because when you said pushing the price, I remembered Vitalik Buterin's tweet back when Ethereum was $300 or $400, and he tweeted that, in my opinion, Ethereum is too expensive.
Yes, I remember that too.
I mean,
You
what
know,
the fuck is this, man?
it's a redundant message.
Maybe it's not a bad thing that that is not the, I don't know, actively marketing for for Ethereum anymore.
Yeah.
You need to get the right people to market. You cannot get like a tech guy to just market. It's just not gonna work out at all, man. You know,
Yeah.
so
Okay,
too bad, man.
Andy, let's talk a little bit about the future. And you told us about your vision. Maybe you can tell us what use cases do you expect to appear soon or in the future with the intersection of these new technologies with AI and with blockchain and whatever other tech stack you consider
I,
interesting.
I wrote that in the book, my new book. I think there are many ways that we can use AI in our lives, right? We don't talk about things that are too airy fairy and out of the world. The most simplest thing is AI and healthcare, right? AI
Mm-hmm.
can be the diagnostic layer, you know, for the healthcare industry, right? They can look at your X-ray report, give you a sense of what's wrong. You know, you can look at your blood sampling size, tell you what is wrong. And AI and blockchain, how that can work together is pretty simple, right? If you go to see all the different doctors, you have all the different medical report, right? You can use AI to analyze, right? But at the same time, you can think of the easiest way is to store the medical data on blockchain, right? That would be a good simple use case, right? Everything is just protected on chain, right? Immutable, no one can change it, right? You can bring that medical data around to see different doctors, you know, and then that is a real simple way to see how AI and blockchain can work very closely together, right? We do not need to talk about trading. You got to have an AI trading bot to make money. Healthcare would be a very simple way to really change things. I think that would be one really good way, in my opinion.
Okay, you mentioned your book several times. Where can people find it? Tell us more about it.
Only at Amazon right now, bro. Right now is still the number one new release. So I thank all my friends who bought it, right?
You
Yeah,
have a lot of friends if it's the number one new release.
no, and it's tough, man. Some guys will say in my private DMs, buy yourself, and then make the sales up. I tell him I have thought of that too, bro. But it will not work because Amazon only take in by account, right? So if you really need to do that, you need to create 1,000 fake account. I say no, man. I don't have time to do this shit. So and one person buying it all the way up would not become a bestseller. Because I asked the Amazon guys, I said, if I buy 10,000 books, can I be a bestseller? Oh, he said no. You'll be counted one only, man. I was, oh, okay, thanks. So Amazon, bro. The only way is Amazon.
Yeah, let's create 1,000 bots and help him buy the book.
Thank you, everybody.
We have an AI now.
Yeah.
We can make it do it.
If it's AI,
Okay,
let me
gentlemen.
know. Let me know. I'll pay for the books. Don't worry.
you just
But
do the 1,000
Amazon is
accounts.
taking a cut. Amazon is taking a cut, right? 20% or something.
Of
I
course.
don't know how much.
Oh no, more than that. I opt for the 70-30. So I opt for 70-30 because I want to lower the price. So instead of selling it like a really high price, like a hardcover, most people would sell it at about $26. I only sold it at $16.99 because that is the lowest that I can give if I want to follow the Amazon. I want to follow the Amazon publishing rule. So $16.99 is the lowest. Actually, $16.29 is the lowest, but I just find that it's a bit strange, right? So I just put $16.99. It looks a bit sexier. That's it. I'm not here to earn the money. I just want to make sure that more people get to read. Just like the Kindle book is just $1.99. I just want more people to read, and then that's it. My main aim is to get more people to read, maybe become a bestseller from there, but never on the monetary terms. How many books do I need to sell, man, to get rich? This time around is not possible. My previous books are very possible because the selling price is a lot higher, right? The first book in Korean selling price is a lot higher, close to about $20 US. So it's easy, man. So you can, and it's in all the big bookshops. But this time around, I don't want to do that, man. It's not for money, really. Yeah. But I of course, some guys will say I could do it for free, but then it defeats the purpose. You don't know who actually bought it or who actually read it. If they have to pay something to read it. Human beings are like that, bro.
Yeah, if it's for free, it's worthless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to make it like a 1 cent, on Amazon, but I realized I can't do it. If I can do it, I would have make it to 1 cent. That's it. Win-win
You
for
know, and
everyone.
even when you buy your own books on Amazon, you still have to pay Amazon for them, right? Their cut.
Oh, of course, bro. Of course. No, no. So if you are if you are author, you have an author's copy, right? So they will charge you a much lower price, maybe about half the price, just the printing cost. But the delivery cost is a killer, big killer. You know, if you add up the delivery cost, it it would be about the same. You know, each book would be probably if it's $10 right now for paperback, I probably need to pay $7. You know, for each book plus delivery. Yeah. So
Is
no,
there an option to choose not to deliver it, just to keep it in the in their store?
no, no way, bro.
Just
That's the digital copy.
Okay.
Yeah.
just read
No,
it and pass
I
it along.
Yeah.
oh, that would be a good thing. That would be a good thing. So I get all my friends. I say, bro, please buy digital copy, right? Just read it, and then that's it. That would be good, right? Because the shipping fees is more expensive than the book.
Mm.
So, you know, I thought, and bro, just buy the Kindle copy. You know, I'm not here to make money. Thanks for the support. You know, that's it. You know, I have always been the same. You know, I don't want them to buy. You know, I don't want them to spend $16 just to put it on the coffee table. You know, read it, bro. You know, that's it.
What's next on the pipeline for you?
Nothing planned yet, man. I was even thinking about writing a book that is more more like a series, like a like a
Mm.
fiction story,
Every bear
like a
market you will launch a new book,
yeah,
or two books
every
per
year.
bear market.
Or maybe no, but the next book that I'm going to launch will not be a tech. So
Mm.
last year I launched a book about Singapore, right? So this year I launched a book about tech. Next year I will launch one maybe about like a 40-year-old security guard, but but he gave up on life, and a 20-year-old young lady, which is the most richest human in the world, like the security guard, you know, or something like that, you know, just to inspire people, man. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I will
I
write
think you
something
Is
like
want
that.
to make money with this one.
That'll be no. You have seen all those micro movies, right? Those short movie. Have
Mhm.
you seen it on the platform like
yeah.
Facebook, Instagram? There's always those stories, bro. You know, oh the hotel cleaner for working very hard, and the richest man in the world like fall in love with the hotel cleaning lady. You know, inspiring, man. Maybe I should write some of this, man. Like a series, you know, security guard, hotel cleaner, driver. I don't know, man. You know, if you want, we
I
could
think
collaborate too.
a book like this would have more chances to become number one bestseller than a book about blockchain and tech and, and
No,
Web4 and
definitely.
crazy stuff like that.
Do you know if you spend some time on Amazon, because I buy books as well, the global top seller, right? Because I'm ranked number 11 on block in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I think that's
Mhm.
okay, right? But if you want to be the global Amazon bestseller, you need to be that kind of book. You know, like I said, you know, while cleaning the toilet, well, you look at the toilet reflection, you see the richest man at the back looking at you, so handsome. That's the story. Shit.
Okay,
We need to
on
have a
this
love story, bro.
optimistic note, let's call it a day. Thank you, Andy, for
Okay.
joining us. It was interesting and entertaining as always.
Yeah. Thank
Dimitro,
you so much.
Thanks,
enjoy
man.
your staying at home. See you around.
Thanks, bro.
Okay, bye
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Web4 bros.